Hello and welcome to another jungle video, and in this one we will once again be looking at the best junglers for you to use to carry, win and climb. Now obviously you've noticed I've been doing these every second patch just because Riot's buffs and nerfs have been a bit more conservative this year, which is kind of nice because it gives people time to figure out metas before adapting to some drastic changes. That being said, over the last 2 months we have had a lot of touches to many junglers, Graves, Wukong, Kane, Evelyn, and as such our best junglers list has once again changed. Let me know if you're using something different and having success in the comments below. Perhaps consider liking the video if you enjoy it, and of course subscribing for the Volibear videos that will be coming. We just had one on Tuesday, so don't forget to have a look at those. I will be doing a follow-up to that on my Virkayu gameplay channel with builds, runes, and gameplay, as well as why they went from a Q flip to a Q stun. But with all that said, let's go into our best junglers. The first one up is of course Graves. Now, we know he's the best jungler in the game at the moment. He got those buffs a few patches back, right? Buffed the jungle experience yet again. Most notably, the scaling experience at around level 10 and above on those camps. So farming junglers that can really camp sequence with a beautiful poetry will be able to get to that level 10 much sooner than everyone else, and as such capitalize on the 10% experience buffs. Combine that with the fact that his kit now is able to do with most junglers, counter jungle anyone, solo objectives, and blind you with a smoke screen that only really happens when your grandfather overcooks a steak at your barbecue. And yeah, that really did kill me to say because in South Africa we call it a braai. I hate saying barbecue, but nonetheless, if you want the sauce, the raw sauce, take Graves, invade enemy junglers, gank lanes, take objectives, farm average 7.5 CS a minute minimum, and you will definitely be looking to win. I did a gameplay example of how you can exactly do that on this channel as well, so all of this will be linked below. Now, not far behind him on this list is Kane. We could have easily put Kane atop the list in the last patch, but obviously Rusty Boy just got those healing nerfs in this one. Now, it's only 3%. It's not that much. He's still gonna heal an insane amount. He's still building Death Darts because of those resistances that really add to his playstyle. He's still building Ravenous Hunter in his rune set. And oh yeah, he still has Conqueror. So basically the healing is still gonna be ridiculous. Just in those very close situations where you think you've got him and then he heals up, that's where the 3% will come in, but that is quite fractional. His playstyle in terms of farming, sequencing, fighting, getting his form quicker than he's ever been able to get it, means that Ras is probably diving and disrupting your team fights for a good few patches more. But yeah, Shadow Assassin Kane, mobility, burst damage, disgusting burst damage, all very good as well. Insane flank ability, insane dive ability, and also, just so you note, I did a full Kane guide around 70 minutes on both forms, pluses and minuses for each one, runes and builds, all on this channel right now. So if you're going to take your enchanted demon sickle and head on over to those, you may do so. And of course, during a pandemic, people aren't really thinking about what can be cooked up in the cellular department in a lab. But if you are concerned with life forms being created in labs, then Zachary the Green Daiquiri is ready to knock your socks off and give you a whole bunch of LP. Or more specifically, take the LP from the enemy ADC as they forget out of position. Nothing has changed in this department. Aftershock, all the routine things that you got on this champion, he still does everything better than any other tank in the game. Use him if you wish to dive back lines. Use him in any elo you want. Tankiness, blobbiness, and fun jokes. A little bit vain with his appearance, but otherwise he's a good time. Next up, we have the Monkey King, and that's not just because the people who one-trick him are monkeys on Twitter, it's because he's an actual monkey who does a lot of damage and now knocks up everyone twice. His power has been tapered just a little bit. He isn't as strong as when his rework first came out, and judging from his play rates, he just isn't that popular. People don't find him very fun to play. However, if you're looking for just a simple, efficient way to gank, to stonk, to win those fights, to frustrate enemies with your clones, not as much as Palpatine, but you're still able to do it enough that you can win the game, the Monkey King is available at your disposal. Next up, we have Master Yi. He is a stick insect, he is a funnel degenerate, he should not be played by anyone with a soul, but if you do need free wins because you're weak and you have no self-control, this champion will do it. Run away with a few kills and do your thing. If you're in high elo and someone picks Yi Tarek, you dodge, because I don't know why, can we just ban it? And next up, we have Fiddlesticks. I can't use a stick insect joke twice, can I? But nonetheless, he is looking very strong. Electrocute, Predator, Dark Harvest, all viable options. I only really recommend Predator if you are good at Fiddlesticks and maybe Korean, at least on the Master Tier Plus ladder. Dark Harvest is great for you scaling people in the mid to low elos, and Electrocute is of course very reliable for that early game damage. That being said, I just did a coaching with Fiddlesticks last night on stream. The game style is unique. You have to farm quickly, you have to be ahead. You are an assassin, you are a disruptor. Sure, you can have a weaker early game. Yes, you can end up having great team fights when they death ball up, but then you're leaving it to 50-50 that those things actually happen. Camp sequence well and fast, lane gank like a demon, use your ultimate on those tower dives, make sure you are counter jungling and farming very well, and then being proactive with the use of that ultimate. Take Ultimate Hunter if you want to spam it as much as possible. He is definitely a hidden strong pick in terms of play rates right now. And finally, Olaf and Elise show up. Olaf is still an excellent champion for you to use if you want to run down mid in the most literal sense. I know I say that every time I make this video, but it's very true. If you have an aversion to CC, Olaf. If you like early game dominance, Elise. Obviously you like tower diving with Elise, you can do that as well. Just remember, I only recommend her really to pick up in gold and above, and really she's best in diamond and above just because you have to know how to control the game tempo and be the leader and the general on the map, and unfortunately that isn't always the case. So if you're looking for something else to play, we can shift on over to the A page. Shaco has still got a good win rate. One Trick Pony still maintain he's the weakest champion in the game, and he's never been strong ever. And this of course is blatantly untrue. And the fact that I have 0 mastery points in 7 years of playing this game should let you know how I feel about the champion. But yeah, the greater meta isn't, really suited for him, but he can still do all the things he needs to do. And Nunu is underappreciated, underrepresented, underplayed, and I never understand why. We just did a coaching on him this week. You can easily climb all the way through diamond, no problem, if you have the right mentality for the supportive style of jungling, for the objective style of jungling required to make sure you're having the most success with the snowball wielding duo of fun. If Zac isn't up your alley but you like playing tanks, this is the next best choice. And I think if you find yourself always liking objective control and trying to keep your AD carry alive, this is definitely one that you can choose. But if you don't like keeping AD carries alive and you like annihilating them and making them uninstall, then Rengar is your choice. Our angry alpha testosterone-filled knife cat is still doing exactly thus. Team meta and farming is easier than ever, experience is great, split pushing is easy, dominating team fights with Conqueror if you wish, or taking Electrocute to, really just overkill someone repeatedly so you can keep buying items. And the nice thing about Rengar, and I love this, is that once you finish your core itemization, then we can get our PD, then we can get our Infinity Edge, then we can sell and get Essence Reaver. The Exodia build really never stops, and you can keep scaling infinitely and do even more damage than my cat thinks he's doing when he jumps on spiders. On that note, the Rek'Sai game plan is still the same. Dominate the early game, invade, get kills, get fed, and then try and end the game by 25. Because remember, you are not a late game champion. You can take Hail of Blades if you want the early game power more. You can take Conqueror if you wish to be a bit more versatile and healing in those team fights. But nonetheless, use the AD version of Elise, except with tower dodge ability at level 6. You are a snowball champion, so be proactive, have good jungle pathing, good invade routes, jungle tracking to make sure the enemy jungle is suppressed. And of course you have the added bonus of being able to deal with Rengars, as well as our next champion, Evelyn. Her buffs didn't seem like they would be that much, and they weren't really, but then you add in jungle experience buffs and other systemic changes around the meta, and suddenly Evelyn can very easily get away with her passive early game. And no, you're not looking to gank a lot, you don't want to have to gank a lot, opportunistically, yes, pick off targets, yes, but your core focus is definitely camp sequencing, level 6 and experience domination so that you can actually have a lead, use your ultimate and start stacking the Dark Seal and becoming a living nightmare for the enemy team. Much like a Rengar in that sense, you are a selfish player, you want to get those kills for yourself, you want to get the farm for yourself, but you don't have the tower taking ability. You can't actually kill wards because it just takes too damn long. And if you main Evelyn, you're probably still staring at this page and saying, right, Evelyn, Rek'Sai, Rengar, Warwick. That's right, 3 champions who can see you and actually deal with you quite well. So she would be high if these champions didn't actually exist or have strong power curves at the moment, but they do. And yes, I still feel that Warwick's a little bit overrated in certain tier lists in terms of how strong they think he is. However, nothing can deny his objective control, his map rotations, his ability to skirmish and dominate many junglers on this list. And so I think it's very important he actually gets his dues and is shown on this list. As most of you know, I have made many videos for him, he's one of my mains, so I'm glad that he is actually having decent success, but he still struggles at falling off on higher elo. They're just way better choices. One of those choices is Trundle, provides much more utility from his ultimate versus the Maokais and Orns of the world. Yes, that was nerfed, but it's really just a baby nerf. It doesn't impact the solo queue as much as it impacts pro play. But the ability to be a supportive jungler in terms of his itemization, or to simply go tank and disrupt, is one of those things that just makes him so versatile, in addition to him having the strength to gap close and steal AD from AD and melee champions, is such a big part of his kit. And finally on this page we have Echo. Yes, he is falling greatly from grace. That small nerf didn't really hit him that hard, but all these other junglers have been doing so well against him and just sort of suit the tempo and the feel of the meta much more better than he does. There are champions that clear faster and gank better early, and there are champions that farm faster and farm more efficiently, and Graves who can do both better than Echo can. And now we shift onto our low MMR page, and as you will see, nothing really sticks out here as a unique pick. All of them we've mentioned before. Kane is especially useful. Make sure you have a Mumu in your kit as always. Shyvana is another one that we'd like to show. Make sure people are playing this. She is a little bit underrated, but she is more coin flip, yes? the way you play her and the way you farm and get objectives, you don't have that same ganking prowess, but you can scale it into a dominating Bruiser Diver if you go that build, or you can be an AP Nuke Bomb with your ease when you go Dark Harvest. The thing is, if all lanes lose, you kind of have a more rough time of actually getting to that fantasy, whereas other junglers can impact the map a little bit more, still farm decently quick, and have more control. But in a good environment with neutral lanes or winning lanes, Shyvana is still extremely dominating. And in low elo games, having that CS and the ability to beat 3 levels up is always very useful in terms of actually winning and carrying. Don't sleep on Rammus. Rammus is always good to isolate those ADCs. I think he's great to get to gold, but I wouldn't really think about using it beyond that. Volibear, may Odin rest his soul, for his rework is coming in 2 weeks, so use his unique power in the low to mid MMR so go get some wins for the last 2 weeks of this iteration of the bear. And finally, we have the high MMR page. Lee Sin isn't actually having the best time in the mid MMRs as he was earlier in the year, and that's actually absolutely fine. He should be a high elo pick, and as such, you can see he is. Nidalee as well, very strong at the moment in the Master Tier Plus range. I even did that video a few weeks ago about how to invade and really suppress the enemy as Nidalee. That's what you're looking to do with her kit. Kane is of course on this list and replaces Karthus as the dominant farming jungler in the higher elo play. But don't let that fool you, Karthus is still used to some degree. Obviously the movement speed means that basically even a minion can catch up to him. Graves is having a great time in high elo, however Kindred can be used against him, as well as the fact that high elo players don't let Graves run around like crazy, although he is still a great pick. All picks on this page are equal weighting, it's just about the player, about the game they're in, team comps and things like that. And then we also have hidden niche picks like Sylas, Taliyah, as well as the Pantheon that will crop up and you will see them if you do any sort of bot scouting. And there you have it, the best junglers for patch 10.10, right before the Volibear Volibear patch. I'm very excited myself. Let me know what picks you are using. Obviously, we cannot include every jungler. It seems like I include every jungler, except the real best junglers are the first 2 pages. The rest are simply specific to your MMR. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you were able to enjoy and learn something. Please do like, share, and comment if you did. We always like to reach around 1500 likes because it just makes me excited. Please subscribe to this channel and the Virkayu gameplay channel for more vids coming soon, especially the Volibear rework. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.